Nāmarūpa paccayā Saḷāyatanaṃ. Saḷāyatana is Saḷāyatana. Sala comes from the Pali root word for six, so we're talking about the six ayatana. What's the meaning of ayatana? We studied this in the third book. Ayatana is the force that prolongs the cycle of rebirth. We can also say that it's the phenomena that prolongs the cycle of rebirth. What are the six ayatana, or six bases? What are the six internal bases? 1. Eye base 2, ear base 3, nose base 4, tongue base 5, body base 6, mind base. We call these the six internal bases. What are the six external bases? 1. Colors 2, sounds 3, odors 4, tastes 5, touches 6, Dhamma objects. We call these aramana, or objects. These are the six objects, or six external bases. We have to study these ayatana now, so that we can understand how these bases prolong the cycle of rebirth. We can think about our daily lives. Every day we stay busy doing this or that, right? Why are we so busy every day? To address the perceived needs of our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, our body, and our mind. This is why these six internal bases prolong the cycle of rebirth. Why do we have to be reborn again and again? Because of our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. That's why they are called ayatana, because they form the bases that prolong the cycle of rebirth. 53 Las Vegas Saya doll, the six animals. The Buddha explained these six ayatana by comparing them to six animals. He said that our eyes are like a snake, our ears are like a crocodile, our nose is like a bird, our tongue is like a dog, and our body is like a wild dog living in the jungle. This wild dog has a bushy tail too. He's wild. The Buddha also said that our mind is like a monkey. We have to take care of these six animals every day. There's no time to rest, so we become slaves to these animals. They become our bosses. Why did the Buddha say that our eyes are like a snake? If you put a snake to live on this table, he won't like it. Snakes don't want to live in a place that's plain. What do snakes like? They like complicated and convoluted places, like bushes and trees. When they stay in a tree, they can put their head in one part of the tree, their tail in another part of the tree, and their body is somewhere in between. This is how snakes live. They like this. If the place was plain, they wouldn't like it. This is the nature of a snake. What's the nature of the eyes? We don't like things that are just plain red or plain white, right? No. We prefer to wear shirts of varying colors. See? We're like snakes in that way. It's for this reason that a woman ordaining as a nun changes her clothing to a plain white color, or in our tradition, a plain brown color. In other words, they stop behaving like snakes. What happens when we go somewhere and see a building or a piece of art that's very plain? I don't like that. But if it's complicated and convoluted, I love all the details and intricacies. What we like is the mixing together of different colors and styles, right? Our eyes behave like this. For that reason, they are like a snake. When we have free time, we will sometimes go to a show or out for some kind of entertainment. We enjoy displays of differing colors and styles and patterns. We love seeing many things happening. Like a snake, our eyes respond in this way. This is why we go to movies, shows, plays, and the like. What happens if we stay at home? Every day, we watch television shows, movies, and so on. We're changing channels all the time, aren't we? We choose colors and pictures that we like. Our eyes like this. What happens if we go somewhere and there aren't many people around? We often feel unsatisfied or unsettled, right? But if there's a big turnout, oh, how wonderful! There's a huge turnout. Our eyes like 54 Nāmarūpa paccayā Saḷāyatanaṃ, having a lot of people to look at. We call this people watching, don't we? We like to have lots of different things and variations to look at. In order to see all these good things, we have to work to earn lots of money to purchase access to them. Some people's houses look like museums, right? They have stuff on the floors, things hanging all over the walls, and sometimes even the ceiling is of differing colors or has stuff displayed on it. What do people like this follow? They follow the snake, right? They walk in a house like this and say, "Ah, very beautiful." Although they think like this, they seldom recognize that they are just following the eyes. They have become the slaves of their snake eyes. Then they have to buy many, many things to continue the decorating. Some houses have so many things. They don't even look like houses anymore. They look much more like museums. This sort of gathering and decorating makes people feel happy, right? But what kind of consciousness is this happiness? It's unwholesome consciousness rooted in craving. See that? It's somanasa sahagata. It could be with wrong view, or perhaps it's without wrong view. In any case, they're happy about it. Maybe someone suggested they decorate like this, prompted, right? Or maybe they decided on their own to do it. I just love the way I've decorated my house. This happiness isn't wholesome, though. It's unwholesome consciousness. If we just follow our eyes, we become slaves to our eyes. This is because a snake, just like the eyes, likes so many things. This is why we have to buy big televisions, have so many clothes, and furnish our homes with so many items and decorations. There's so much stuff. Our entire house is covered and full. If it was plain, no one would like it, right? We love all these differing colors. It is the nature of our eyes to be like a snake, and because of the snake, we have to work so hard to get things to serve the snake. This snake, this eye, this ayatana, prolongs the cycle of rebirth. We may do good things in this life, but we still want things. We may do these good things wishing to be reborn more pretty or handsome in the next life. Or we may think, I want to be surrounded by beautiful things in the future. Some people even do bad things, illegal things, to acquire the things they want to be surrounded by. In either case, why do they do this? Because of what? To follow the desires of the eyes. They follow their snake. Although some people have very little money, they want to serve their eyes with many desirable objects, right? So W-hat happens. 55 Las Vegas Sayada. Sometimes they do unwholesome things to accomplish these goals. When they do, they create the conditions to receive the consequences of those deeds. The results of those unwholesome deeds may manifest in this life, or perhaps in the next. As they do, they prolong the cycle of rebirth. This is just talking about the eyes, right? What about our ears? They look like a crocodile. Where do crocodiles like to live? In water. They stay in the water, where it is cool and pleasant. This is the nature of crocodiles. They like to stay in the cool water. What do our ears like? They like to be immersed in good music, good songs, and good sounds. If someone speaks to you using impolite words, you don't like it, do you? We want to hear good and polite words. We want to be immersed in cool and comfortable sounds. This is the nature of our ears. What do we have to do every day to serve our ears? We have to go to concerts, or listen to music or other pleasant sounds. Even at home, we play music and saturate our space in pleasant sounds. We turn on the radio and listen for hours. Have you ever spent 3 or 4 hours driving somewhere while listening to the radio the entire time? This is following our crocodile, our ears. Our ears like to hear nice sounds. For that reason, we have to purchase radios, music, microphones, speakers, karaoke machines, and so on. This is to serve the desires of the ears. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. We listen to good songs because we follow our ears. Our nose is like a bird. Where do birds like to stay? High in the sky. Up in the air, right? Like flies, they like this. In the same way, what do our noses like? Fresh air and good smells. People follow their noses as if they were birds. They buy perfumes for incredible amounts of money, right? I've seen it myself. One time a gentleman came to the temple just before he was leaving for Thailand. He showed me a gift he'd purchased and planned to give to the princess of Thailand. It was a single bottle of perfume that cost him $5,000. He showed it to me. It definitely had a good smell, but the contents of the bottle only lasted for 1 month. He told me that the smell would stay on the princess even after she showered. Even those people who can't afford an expensive bottle of perfume will often spend $10 or $20 on a bottle. Almost everyone has this stuff, right? They want to smell nice before they go somewhere. Why? Because they follow the nose and its desire for good smells. 56. Nāmarūpa paccayā Saḷāyatanaṃ. When we cook something, we usually add herbs and spices to make the dish smell good, right? In our homes, on our clothes, and on our bodies, and in our foods, we want to add varying kinds of perfumes to make the smell nice, right? But it's not only about good scents. Our nose is like a bird, because it likes fresh air too. We might go outside for an hour or two every day. Why? To find fresh air. Can you see how this is following your nose too? Even if a friend invites us over to his house for a meal, we might say we can't because we're planning to drive up to go hiking in the mountains. Why? Because we're chasing fresh air in the forest or up in the mountains. We're following our noses as if they are birds. We're chasing fresh air and good smells. Our tongue is like a dog. Dogs in Southeast Asia don't have to do much of anything. If they live in a village, they just wander into someone's kitchen and look for something to eat. In America, they don't even have to do that, because they already have lots of food available for them. Dogs like to eat a lot. They enjoy eating. As for our tongue, what kinds of things do we eat in a single day between the time we get up in the morning and the time we fall asleep in the evening? Many, many things. You drink too, right? How many meals a day do you eat? Maybe 2 or 3 or 4, right? Some people eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but that's not enough, so they snack on something in between meals. They have drinks too. This is the nature of our tongue. It's always wanting to eat something. Dogs enjoy eating too. We have to serve our dog every day, right? When we get up in the morning, what do I need to prepare for breakfast? See? We become a slave to our tongue, a slave to our dog. Why do we go to work every day? For eating. It's for survival. We have to go to work for our dog. Whether our work is ethical or otherwise, we think, say, and do things that are intended to serve our dog what it wants to eat or drink. You guys may know about this more than I do, but some people have many, many bottles of alcohol in their homes. Maybe different kinds of liquor, beer and wine, right? One bottle might cost $1,000. That's a lot. For what? For the tongue. For the dog. Our refrigerators are full of so many different kinds of food too. Why is that? For our tongue. See? Every day we work so hard for these things. We work to serve the desires of our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue. It's for seeing, for listening, for having good smells, and for eating. Our tongue is like a dog. 57 Las Vegas Saļāyatanaṃ. Our body looks like a wild dog that lives in the jungle. They go to eat something and then they want to enjoy a good sleep, so they find a place to sleep in a village or in a cemetery. They like to do this. In the same way, we want to lie down and take a rest whenever we have the chance. It's the nature of our body to want to rest. Most people go someplace and then immediately look for a doorway or a wall to lean on. This is because the body wants to rest. The body wants to stay comfortable, just like a wild dog. When we have free time, how often do we say, "I have to take a nap"? We look like dogs because our body behaves like this. And what do we want to do after we finish eating? We want to take a rest. This means that we've become like a wild dog. See? In order to sleep well and comfortably, we have to buy big houses with big beds and big sofas, right? We have to acquire so many things to keep our body comfortable. And how about the mind looking like a monkey? A monkey doesn't want to sit or stand still. It's not the nature of a monkey to do that. Instead, a monkey wants to run around, climb up trees, and then jump back down to the ground. They're very active, right? They can't stay quiet. They don't want to behave. In the same way, if we don't practice meditation and just allow our mind to behave in line with its nature, it will stay busy thinking so many things. Since we were young and up until now, our mind has been busy thinking about good or bad experiences. We enjoy daydreaming and thinking, right? Depending on whether the thoughts were about good or bad experiences, we might smile or cry as we think. And as we think about the future, we often worry about our business, our family, or fantasize about what good things might happen down the road, right? With a big smile, we might think, if I become rich and successful, what will I do with all that money? We might even daydream about the glories of our next existence. The mind likes to think all the time. It's just thinking and wandering. In the span of just 5 minutes, the mind thinks about so many things. It thinks about the past, the present, and the future. In those thoughts, you might have traveled all over the world, the places you've been in your thoughts. This is the nature of our mind. It's like a monkey. This is why the Buddha said that we should try to train our monkey to be tame by using the 4 mindfulness meditations. So how many animals do we have to take care of? 6 animals. We use 6 ropes to bind them by their necks. We then hold the ropes 58 Nāmarūpa paccayā Saḷāyatanaṃ together. What happens? Depending on which animal is stronger or has more energy at the time, we get pulled and steered. We have to follow. Let's look at an example of what might happen. Today I ate lunch at home, but it wasn't very good. I need to go out for Chinese food tonight. Who thinks this? The dog. But before you go to the restaurant, the snake says, "Today's my day off from work. I don't want to go anywhere. I'd rather stay in and watch a movie tonight." This is the snake, right? See how the snake and the dog have been dominating? You have all these animals, bound by their necks. But who's pulling you? Who do you follow next? It depends on the strength and energy of the individual animals. If the snake is stronger than the dog, I want to watch a movie. I'm not going to the restaurant. And if the dog is stronger than the snake, I'm heading out to find something special to eat. See that, right? If it's just one animal that's pulling you somewhere, it's not such a big problem, right? But sometimes, all 6 animals each want to go their own way. A monkey likes to think and jump around. A wild dog likes to sleep. I want to sleep, but why is my mind so active? You get angry with yourself sometimes, right? It's almost midnight. Why can't I sleep? Who thinks like this? The monkey. Your wild dog wants to sleep, but he can't. So they fight each other, right? You have to take responsibility for these 6 animals and hold the rope. Maybe the dog is very hungry and wants to eat something. But maybe the wild dog wants to sleep. One dog wants to eat, and the other dog wants to sleep. Sometimes you start to fall asleep while eating, right? Think about this. What do you do then? Maybe you turn on the television to watch something. Now you're following the snake, right? This isn't enough, so then you decide to turn on the radio. Can you see how during your meal you're following the dog, then the wild dog, then the snake, and now the crocodile? So perhaps you then get up and go outside, or open a window to let in some fresh air. You're now following the bird. Every day, these 6 animals cause you problems. You have to serve them and treat them very well. If you don't know this, then you become a slave to these animals. You become attached to the snake, the crocodile, the bird, the dog, the wild dog, and the monkey. It is the nature of the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind to behave like these 659 Las Vegas Sayadaw animals. If we unknowingly and unconsciously serve and take care of them, we become their slaves. For this reason, we have to learn the nature of our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Once we do, we no longer need to follow the desires of these 6 animals. With regard to seeing, for example, We can choose not to watch movies because we realize that they are a waste of time. Going to shows can be recognized as a waste of both time and money. When we see in this way, we don't become a slave to the snake anymore. We have to develop our wisdom in order to have good knowledge and good ideas. Then, we become the boss of the animals, rather than their slave. We don't have to be slaves to the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind, but when we are, we prolong the cycle of rebirth. There will be no end to this cycle. As such, we will have to be reborn again and again. Throughout our daily lives, we will continue to have to work hard and suffer about this or that in slavery to the 6 animals. This is Nāmarūpa paccayā Saḷāyatanaṃ. Q. If someone's blind and can't see, is the eye still a problem? If they can't see, they don't have to follow the snake. But they might still have 5 animals. Some people aren't attached to seeing, hearing, smelling, or eating, but they enjoy sleeping. They might sleep more than 10 hours a day, right? Other people may not be interested in anything but daydreaming or thinking. They enjoy thinking, right? A friend might say, "Hey, let's go out for lunch," and the person might respond that they've got too much on their mind to eat, right? Some people stay awake all night because their mind is so busy thinking. So this is Nāmarūpa paccayā Saḷāyatanaṃ. Dependent upon mind and matter, the 6 bases arise. With Nāmarūpa, what's Nama? It's the 52 mental factors. What's Rupa here? It's all 28 kinds of material properties. When you have both mind and matter, this Vijñāna paccayā Nāmarūpam consists of rebirth consciousness arising together with Cetasika and Rupa. It becomes Nāmarūpa. Because of Nāmarūpa, we get Ayatana. In other words, because you have mind and body, Nāmarūpa, you have eyes, right? You also have ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. This is Ayatana. Because there is Nāmarūpa and Nāmarūpa as a condition, there are the 6 bases. 60. Nāmarūpa and Nāmarūpa paccayā Saḷāyatanaṃ. Those who are reborn in the formless sphere have Nama only, right? With Nama as a condition, bases arise. What are the bases? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. But there is only the mind base for beings reborn in the formless sphere. Here, there is merely the mind base. How many bases are there for mindless beings? They don't have eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, nose sensitivity, tongue sensitivity, or body sensitivity. They don't have mind either. See that? There's no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind. Generally, those in the sensuous sphere, such as human beings, have 6 bases: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Normally, we get all 6, right? This applies to angels, too. Of course, some human beings don't have eye sensitivity or ear sensitivity. It depends on the individual. What about beings in the form sphere? Do you remember when we studied this in the 3rd chapter of the 1st book? How many bases do they get? They have eye sensitivity and ear sensitivity, but they don't have nose sensitivity, tongue sensitivity, or body sensitivity. They don't have 3 bases, but they do have eyes, ears, and mind. To be clear, they have the form of a nose, a tongue, and a body, but there's no sensitivity. This is because these aren't useful for them. After all, they need eye sensitivity and ear sensitivity to pay homage to Buddhas and Arahants, or to listen to Dhamma teachings that inform their practice of meditation on the path to liberation. So, what plane, what type of being, which bases? We studied this in the 3rd chapter of the 1st book. Here, I would like all of you to know that because of mind and matter, there arise 6 external bases and 6 internal bases. When you have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, the external bases are experienced. You see a color, you hear a sound, you smell something, you taste something, you feel a touch, and you know a mental object. In this context, though, Saḷāyatana is specifically talking about the 6 internal bases. In the 3rd book, we studied 12 bases, right? They include eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, color, sound, odor, taste, touch, and mental objects. Their realities are very easy to remember. Now, let's go to the next link, 61.